Don't fuck lemon, it can burn.
Everything can burn if you try hard enough.
That's not the point. You don't fuck lemons. You can fuck spiders, though.
You can always fuck a spider.
With a big enough spider and enough determination. You gotta teach the spider to fuck.
No, you don't. God does not understand the necessity of shit maxing. Also, you're not going to hear this until the fucking recording, Brandon, but I fucking saw you typing in chat, you bitch. Don't you think you could fucking run from me? I told you I have cameras in your fucking room. Anyway.
His walls.
I am living inside your walls.
I mean, that's for real. How many times do you take a shit when during a game and you just have your headphones on?
Wireless headphones, baby!
Hell yeah!
All the better for taking a shit. Got a pretty strong piss. Good on you.
I love lemon drinking competition. It's not a lemon competition. It's a piss drinking competition. Break your sentences up to drink piss.
I will not clip that.
I will drink piss.
The imagery of last session was intense in a way, as we began with Pinky, the undead and amalgamated rat, pouring bleach into the bound and gagged and blinded Father Marco. That's where the whole that imagery of that whole scene was intense and priceless in its own way. But you finally had a chance to torchigate, as my former friend Francis used to say, torchigate, the priest who was at the wharf from in-game close to more than 36 hours ago, give or take, and the others, us, Oliver and Serafina and some of the others are outside, either in the other bedroom or in the kitchen. You guys are downtiming things, making stuff. Eventually Siegfried and then Oliver come in to converse with the priest, and Oliver kind of leans a little harder into the good cop, if you will, and heals some of the mental damage the priest has, and one second.
What's up, motherfucker?
Sorry, I thought he wasn't saying my name, he was saying something else, but nevertheless, he finally discusses what he is, if you will, or who he is, what and who he is. He's part of this organization that's more or less colloquially called the Grey. They're an ancient organization of occult followers, warriors, protectors, and the like, researchers, as well. And they, as their name implies, they try to be a place between the light and the dark. They are loosely funded by the Vatican and the Archdiocese, but they're independent in their own way, and they're not Orpheus either. They're their own entity. But Dr. Current knows from he did a knowledge check, but he knows from his own researching, if you will, that this group dates back thousands of years. This is one of those precursors to Orpheus and governments and espionage and those kind of things. There's a lot of dogma and ancient faith and occult, leanings and things that are definitely wrapped up into it. It goes as far back as the first accounts talking about the ancient Egyptians 3,000 years ago, but he's pretty sure it goes back further than that, even more, to how they've been involved with human existence on, in between those that aren't from Earth, and he talks about how he's only been here a couple days. He was brought in from, you know, like Europe, with Sister Amara, and he um, met with Father Zeke, and uh, I might be confusing one of the other sisters' names, but nevertheless, there's another one named Sister Evie. But they came in to stop the coil. If go do the same thing Orpheus was doing. They did not assume Orpheus had a cell in the city. Like, you guys got so quickly formed to deal with those things, was kind of the impression. Uh, or maybe there was a double deal or whatever, like some sort of miscommunication with Mr. Sterling. They're aware of Mr. Sterling, but they weren't aware of Father Marco wasn't aware of the layer you guys brought in about Countess Varma, the vampire queen. And he seemed quite interested in that idea eventually, once he processed what it really probably means to the complications of what's happening and what he knows to be the corruption within the Archdiocese of Manhattan, and the leader of that being Cardinal Bellini. So there's an obvious connection between Arthur Fenn and his mirror group, that I've called them colloquially, and the idea of the Archdiocese corruption, like, is kind of what Father Marco hinted to, in so many words. And the conversation more or less wraps up for those things, but there was some discussion about um like Evelyn and her connection and the dark powers that kind of were wrapped up into that. And um we had a further discussion that was about like what the gray means, beside, like, they're called the gray because of what they protect or hunt, if you will. Like, the gray are what people know aliens more or less to be, and like Dr. Current knows of one. Like, he's dealt with one in the city. It's called a fairy, spelled very differently, for my own joy, if nothing else. And he knows he could summon it. He could call it forth and get some answers about some of the stuff a little more directly, but he knows what that means. Like they're not Tinkerbell, like, in any way, shape, or form. They are outsiders. They're not from this plane, but they're fascinated with the human plane, absolutely fascinated with it, and manipulate it to their pleasure, leisure, whatever the case is. Like, Dr. Hearn is very aware of these things. He also knows there's a reef nearby that would make the connection to the outside plane more easy, near what the locals call Hell's Gate. And he could try to summon the darkness if he wanted to at a later date or whatnot. The fairy aren't dark, but they are not light either. Like, that's one of the reasons, like, they exist in the gray. They exist in between the entities of light and dark, in a lot of ways, which does represent, as a awkward connection in my mind, but still true, is like a lot of what occultists and Nephilim and Hermeticists and things, they connect to these alternate entities, and deal with how they play with human minds and souls and the like. But nevertheless, kind of gathering all that information, there's like the expectation that the priest was going to become Pinky's new brother. And there was a very final decision that, Luther leads to say that, no, we're going to release Father Marco, and let him go about his ways, in simplest terms, after understanding more of the situation. And he's more or less safe, unlike Evelyn, who's like physically damaged because the grenade literally exploded 5 feet from her. and other things that she went through. Well, you know, she was flying away and fell down 20 feet after trying to fly and hit like cement. Like, it was like 50 feet maybe even, but I don't know. I remember she took quite a bit of fall damage because she was pretty high up. But nevertheless, he just got blasted by Oliver's mental thing that he does. I forget the ability. So he was really shook, but he wasn't, and he could. You can die.
Baleful starlight.
Yes, you can die from that, but he wasn't like very far past his track where you guys had to worry like Evelyn was from having a mug smashed on her face the previous. Nevertheless, he's escorted out.
I regret
There's-
nothing.
no, there's escorted out after a cab is called, and he promises to go back to Father Zeke and continue to go after Arthur Fenn. Nevertheless, the group kind of breaks apart and does separate things a little bit by this point, where we have follow Siegfried for a while back to check on Evelyn in the bedroom with Seraphina. Evelyn, as I just described, the punk rocker chick that was. She did sacrifice one of the Orpheus agents, but you guys have learned she was manipulated, you know, by Arthur Fenn in, a relationship to use her witch knowledge and her power as, this eldritch being that she kind of is in her own right, to his own gains. And, like, she, has gone through she went through quite a bit of, like, stress as well as physical damage, but the physical damage was definitely more. But seeing that she's just out, there is a further discussion that she needs to get to the hospital, and you guys are trying to make arrangements for that idea. And Siegfried does discuss with Seraphina about the Fang, and she's this knowledgeable scientist, historian, traveler. Like, does she know about these things? And she loosely does, but not anything that you don't already know about what this thing is. So she does suggest that she could ask the stars, is more or less the idea. Then she, asks you to watch over, Siegfried to watch over the broken woman, Evelyn, and she returns to the kitchen to prepare herself for the what comes next, and she starts to make some alchemist fire stuff with the lab equipment that has been more or less set up in the kitchen. I imagine you guys have had to jimmy rig some things, but she and Oliver have what I feel to be like their first like real level heart to heart almost in some way. Like, they've had a couple conversations, but this is the one where they both seem to be with each other and wanting to be with each other because of that lost relationship. And they share this weird scientific obsession that they both kind of have. And I think Dr. Current is nearby. He's the only one that kind of really notices that this is it exactly a bonding experiment? Yeah. Is it like the best bonding experiment? Like, there's like questionable intent from especially Seraphina's side. She has this obsessive nature about her that I think Dr. Current is more than well aware of. There was the discussion of, well, it's also because she had a big part to play in the coil and the ciphers and things, but then there's just the loud dragging of like the couch with Jurgen sitting on it, and Luther just, oh, and he sits in the big couch and puts it into the kitchen while everyone's brewing, and just is like, "Hey, Doctor Curran, Adrian, you need to answer some questions for me." Uh, and I love the imagery of it. Especially with Jurgen just like reading a magazine, just like, whoa, my goodness. And Jurgen's a pretty big guy himself, so there was, uh, and they discuss the darkness that's hidden within his influence and like why is he going to such extremes for what motivates, I guess is another way to put the question I was thinking about. But uh and like his obsession and push for someone's death to kill my father Marco so haphazardly, needlessly, almost. There has to be some sort of why. uh and Adrian at first is, I think, he's very reluctant and defensive. And there's a little bit back and forth that you guys did with the role play that was fun before Luther really just pushes hard. He just doesn't suck. Like Luther is the unmovable object in all the scenes we've seen so far, and socially even more than some of the combat scenes. Like he's just like, nope, nope, just shut up. Nope, this is just what it is. No, you didn't answer my question. It's just like, and he finally current hands the brewing stick off to Pinky to take over, and he turns and he, I can't remember if he grabs a chair or whatnot, but I like the idea of him eventually grabbing a chair to sit across from him and talks of Nam and the jungles and the war and the fog and the panthers and the screams and the heat and the fights that went beyond any sort of reason of presumably maybe men and with beasts that don't make any sense that were in these forests and the experiments. And this is when that line came in about how he was a lost bullfrog, like old and withered, not the tadpole he started off, and he, something about croaking and all these things. I love the imagery. And like the croaking was the symbolism for the story and all these things. And Serafina kind of breaks away during part of this, and she just gets emotional and just as she goes back on her own, trip in her memory, and she has to break away and sit down across the room. Small apartment, not really where a place she can escape by this point, but uh, Oliver sits nearby, just continues to like watch the alchemy. And Malik, this is when Malik more or less returns, and Adrian's talking about Pinky being his son, and Martin and Luther, they have that connection, and Oliver has Serafina, and Malik just has that one liner. It's like, I could have had a son, but he wasn't allowed. And there's just this beat where we all lost it, but like in character, like I think it also created this reverberation in the room about like perspective about what you guys are going through. That was just like, I think, really fun to just think about from the story point of view, of how the narrative is building. But Luther takes back control of the conversation after that beat, and he claims Adrian wasn't really the hero. That guy died many years ago, and is now haunted and all these things. And like Adrian's just like, yeah, of course, that's exactly what's going on, But like the symbolic perspective of Luther, like seeing it from not the ghost perspective, but seeing it from like the metaphorical human spirit perspective. And that's not how Dr. Curran is seeing it at all. He's like, yeah, I summon ghosts. Like, I have ghosts that follow me. Like, yeah, what's your point? It was just the antithesis of perspective again was fun to play with. But the hell that you guys are in, the things that you've gone through. There's Luther expects Adrian to prove himself and like really that his actions that he's making, if we're going to continue with whatever this chaos is, like we need some proof, some evidence of, I guess, that trust. And Serafina echoed that a little bit towards the end as well, when she was able to collect herself. And we had you guys kind of break off into some introspection by that point, and just echoed more of Malik's just own inner turmoil that he's going through with the dreams he's had and the interactions with his own past that's coming up to him, as well as like kind of the breakdown of Orpheus that's happened here. I think is another layer I could add to that now, but of like their communication. Like it seems right now the organization is kind of a little like feathered right now, and especially at least in the city of Manhattan, right? There's not a lot of you haven't heard from Mr. Sterling in over a day, kind of thing. But nevertheless, Luther, somewhere during the rest of the day, near the end of the day, after Evelyn was given a bit of time to rest, he goes to check on her and convinces her to, one, go to the hospital, but two, maybe go find Father Zeke. She is very angry and reluctant for obvious reasons at Luther, but he eventually convinces her to at least get out, not return to Arthur Fenn and go in the hospital. And you guys make your way to the warehouse in Tribeca and drop her off at the hospital along the way. And we ended with you guys outside that very large building. It is still ominous with the lights on, even though it's very close to midnight. And like jutting out of the roof, like jutting out, like it like got poked out. Like it's not like part of the architecture of the warehouse proper, is this steeple that's like sparkling with like the sterling almost starlight from the reflection of the city, and all the lights of the city. But it's obviously some sort of like platinum or silver, or maybe even gold like plating that's on it. And yeah, that's where we will pick up more or less, is you guys in the car, right? Like parking the car. But as we pull up, I want to do two quick flashbacks before we get in there. And first flashback is going to be Siegfried, who I imagine has been very pensive and quiet because of the conversation he had earlier this evening when he came to Serafina at the kitchen table and she had set up this like, I don't know, like candle circle, and like she's, in simplest terms, she's doing astrology, the ability. But like I like to think it's like a weird like seance sort of thing that she's doing. It's like really weird, like call to the spirits for energy and power kind of thing. Is, she's very dramatic and like theatrical, with like this performance that she puts on to kind of like ask the stars and the gods and the patterns of the universe to kind of like help her understand fate, help her understand the choices that have been given. So this is giving you guys some like stuff to use in the combat that comes later on, but I like the idea about how that could be with Thurgy as well, connected to how she's trying to dig into the ancient history of the Fang with her psychometry, kind of building these abilities together to kind of like, this is something that, goes beyond just the mere understanding of like the last 50 years is kind of the implication, right? This is something that extends beyond that, in a way that is like, astronomical, like literally, right? Where she has to like call upon the stars to like understand it.
Interject for a moment.
Hmm.
Could we also use this as a plot device of sorts to determine the powers from the Fang from the past two levels? So it weaves kind of into the story, rather than just me deciding, okay, this looks good. Could be fun.
I like that idea. I think that's cool.
Let's do that.
I like that idea. Uh, okay. I know I spent her humanity towards this last time. But she is trying to. Okay. It's just like she has other things she can do. That add up to this stuff. All right. So the she has psychometry rank 2. So in simplest terms, she rank 1 means I gained vague sense of touched objects history through imagery, impressions, and metaphors. Director has discretion over this information and shouldn't fully spoil the plot, of course. Nevertheless, rank 2 allows her to she gains a rank A that's appropriate to understand the item for the scene. If she would already have a rank A, then or rank S, then it's a B, so on and so forth. But nevertheless, this is, I think, a mixture. It's kind of like a hybrid check to me in a lot of ways of like an ancient like language understanding. Like you need to understand because language is so intimately tied to the culture of a people that she needs to use one of these abilities to understand like ancient Norse in simplest terms, and like to be able to connect to what you've told her to be the ancestry of this item and where it kind of comes from. So she's going to use her Thurgy that she's gained, and she's going to gain a oh goodness, I didn't space that out. R3. No, it's going to be that. Okay. Yeah, she's gonna gain a rank C of ancient you know, ancient Norse. And then she can gain another thing at rank C, which to me would be. She has the other one.
Should it be specifically giant? Because my languages are specifically giant, Norse, and German.
Okay, I got it. Yeah. All right. Cool. No, that makes sense. No, thank you for the suggestion. All right, and
Would
then
it be Jotun?
yeah.
Oh.
Jotun, thank you. I'm fixing it right now.
Yes.
I knew I missed something.
So I'm making
Ew,
a
Thor doesn't approve. Kill him.
nope. I'm making a spot on her sheet for 30 stuff. Okay, and then her psychometry is going to give her a boost to her knowledge occult, which she only has a rank B in, and she can bump up her psychometry to an A, to help give her a +1 in lieu of rolling if she rolls horribly. So, she is going to get a +1 situational modifier from the knowledge you have given her. Another +1 because she literally, I don't know. It's also like I think Jurgen and like the item itself uh wants you to know more about it. I feel like like as we've already hinted to, this the Fang has its own kind of sentience in a way. And I think
Maybe
there's
it's not all about just kill, kill, kill. Maybe there's more to it and I just don't get it yet.
perhaps. And then you, if you would like, can during the as part of this, downtime ritual thing, if you want to roll a check you deem appropriate, I'm not too picky right now. It's obviously something focused or charisma based is how I'm feeling right now. Maybe willpower. But I would like you to, if you would like, you can roll an appropriate check to basically build a tactics, like give her an extra bonus towards this, because you can't really help her because you are not magical in this way, but you can like give her an extra bonus based upon other information you've learned, right? That you isn't just the basic information from your travels, or asking Jurgen and having Jurgen kind of help you kind of delve some things in, or even just helping her set up the ritual could be a possibility, or insert other idea here is where my brain is, for those things. So if you would like to, you can argue for a skill with either focus or willpower to head it up.
Oh, have Jürgen help set it
Oh,
up
or
because he obviously knows more, and help provide whatever linguistical information is needed because of the X I speak Jotun, right?
Would I be able to help with the setup at least, just to get the number bigger?
And what does language fall under anyway? Charisma?
Language is usually focus or charisma.
Okay, the two.
For those things. But Oliver, yeah, you could. And also I guess anyone else could if they wanted to. Like she's not like this is at the kitchen table in the apartment before you guys
It's just on the kitchen table.
That Jotun is at an S, so I can add +3 temp strain, so that's good. Let me.
Of all the things to be at an S rank,
His language and
It's his
Jotun.
language, yeah.
Well,
He knows it really well.
It came to the
is
territory.
well, we did that because we basically narrated that he spent a good part of the last 3 to 5 years like researching like giant lore to try to like understand what the Fang was, but I love it that I
Oh,
didn't
what if
realize.
Manhattan is built on the back of a giant? That'd be so cool.
Okay, so Serafina is going to roll. And then if you want to roll an appropriate tactics, if more than one of you is rolling a tactics, then you guys are collaborating together. You're not collaborating with her, so you guys could each separately roll a tactics, or you could collaboratively come together to build your own pool for a tactics bonus if you want. That's on you guys. Tactics is kind of very fluid, sort of in that way. So, but she is Unless you guys have psychometry, like that's kind of where my brain is going. Then you could help her more directly if you had psychometry. Or if you had like another ability like Thurgy that gave you a skill, the ability to like unlock a skill thing. But she rolled okay, not the best, but she rolled a +1. I'm not going. Well, I'll use the reroll just to see if I get a plus. No, I do not. Okay, so keep the +1. All right, hybrid check means that she has to roll with.
So for the tactics, it would be focus, right? If I want to help.
Focus would
Plus
be the most
tactics.
obvious. I could see charisma or willpower if you wanted to make an argument for an appropriate skill for that, but this is definitely to me like a knowledge occult is probably what you're mostly helping with, or a language of some sort if you find one that's appropriate.
I was thinking more so knowledge occult.
Yeah.
My check was of language. I had a 10 string to it.
You might want to get Malik to help.
Somebody go shake his arm. He's in a funk. Go get him.
Am I in the room or?
It's in the kitchen table again. This is like the flashback to the evening earlier.
We're doing a minor retcon before we left the house, is all.
Yeah, minor retcon because we didn't. He was our good friend Siegfried fell asleep.
Yeah, this
well,
would
you
be
could
so
definitely say you're
during the
here.
funk.
Be like, do you?
If you want, you could be out on the. I imagine there's like the back alley terrace, that kind of thing. The fire escape.
Yeah.
You could be on the fire escape, smoking a cigarette or whatever it is that you do, staring up at the stars. And
well, if Malik
hobble
knew
over.
somebody needed their help, they'd be there. So the question is more so, does he know he's needed in the kitchen?
I think that as Oliver is like starting to set things up, because I remember that he said he would help Grandma with the astrology thing as in like the minor roleplay moment. Look over out the window onto the balcony, or again fire escape. Sort of hovels over and like knocks on the window to Malik.
Malik's gonna walk over and like peer at them. What do you want?
You're on the smarter side, right? Lab coat and psychic powers and everything.
Give you that idea.
Trying to help Siegfried. Do you think you can lend a hand?
Somebody. Sorry. Sure. Let me just. I'm gonna start crawling through the window or whatever the door was, or I don't know.
I like the idea that it's a window. I really do.
Yeah. Alex just gonna start squeezing through the window and like stepping through, cleaning up.
Like it's awkward, but not impossible. Far from it, kind of thing.
Yeah. I could have floated through, but
no, you're feeling very human right now. So
I'm feeling very drained. All right, show me where I need to go. I'll do whatever I can.
We're setting up candles. I think Grandma her eyes are getting kind of weird. I think she might be doing something to her head.
She's singing and stuff. Like she's like really she's an old school hippie in a way, guys. Like she's like like really into it.
Again, she's from the '60s, so yeah.
All right, let me go take a look at them. You're helping out, right?
Right. Yeah. I'm setting up some circles and taking out some books. I would ask Dr. Current, but he's I don't think he's doing very well.
Yeah, he did almost kill a girl.
He easily could be sleeping. Any of you easily could be sleeping right now before like you guys leave. Could be the implication too.
I have taken lordship of the bathroom.
I imagine that you are in the bathtub now, like arms up, feet up in the tub, just staring up at the ceiling,
reading
with
a
your
fucking
gallon of bleach,
reading a fucking newspaper, sipping a gallon of bleach. You know how it goes.
I did forget one implication from Oliver's point of view. If Oliver wanted to cast astrology himself to assist with this in that capacity,
Okay.
uh, Oliver definitely could. I forgot you had astrology.
Yes.
Um,
How do I go about for this instance? Because usually, like the what it is usually just like, oh, we get a buff for a later time. But for this like sort of pseudo role play instance, what would it be
um,
if it's different at
to
all?
Yeah.
yes and no. To me, it's like she has taken like when before the sun started to go down at like 4 or 5 p.m. Excuse me. She started to set up while dinner was happening, and then after dinner she finished the setup. And then once the sun was completely down and the starlight was out, she opened the windows, and so she's been like setting up her astrology for like an hour or two before she starts to do her psychometry,
Gotcha.
to use her occult knowledge to really like connect to the Fang. So she is trying to activate a wisdom, if you will, from her astrology to help with the knowledge, is what she's trying to do. For those things. But because she has rank 2, she's also trying to activate a victory for you guys for the combat later on today. Later on
Okay.
tonight. And then so that she's kind of doing 2 at the same time is what she's trying to do for those things. So I know you mentioned something about astrology now that I remember back to
Yeah.
last week. So you can lean into that more, or now that you know this a little bit more, you can modify, I guess, as you see fit.
Okay, so would protection be anything here? Because it also helps on support actions whenever there's a challenge, and I don't like it does. Will this flashback like seance have any risk of death? I guess.
Um, Interesting. Uh, there. Okay. There is a chance I think that Oliver would get from this that one of the reasons why your grandmother's taking so much time to prepare for this psychometry that she could just do is she is a little worried about what will happen because of what the Fang is. Like she
Mm,
knows enough about the Fang to know that it is something that's very dangerous if not treated with respect. So she found the one ring kind of is the vibe.
mm,
Like
Oh shit.
she knows this is like something really heavy, and she wants to make sure that her wisdom is deep enough to where she doesn't like lose herself within it. The idea the but this is still a challenge that she's about to do, so you could have that effect go to it. You could also lean into the idea of doing protection, I think, for the idea of not grandmother but Siegfried. um
mm. I
the
do like that
knowledge,
idea.
like Siegfried has a chance here with what he if this thing is indeed as powerful as your grandmother's insinuating by her preparation. She's not sure if there is an entity or something within this. Like she's not worried what it will do to Siegfried. You know, there's this element where your grandmother has kind of taken to Siegfried rather quickly. You get the general impression.
I mean, he's
Um,
he's the guy. He's got the thing.
and it's like she kind of has this like you're like he's like another grandson, like you kind of it's like it's not a I don't think an uncomfortable vibe by any means, but she's very protective of Siegfried all like within the last little bit couple days that she's known him. She talks to him a lot and stuff like that, and they talk in German and things like that. So there's that element that I think is like shared from some of her own past, that she spent a lot of time in Germany in her early years. So
Right.
um there is, I think, that element. Um there. Yeah, the only other idea I could think of is like you could also lean into the scene like I'm doing with the victory thing. The like, hey, I want to prepare for the scene at midnight that we're about to jump to as well, and just kind of use this as that opportunity to gain some insight to the stars since we're like opening the stars to understand the Fang.
Well, I think I still want to lean into the protection one for Siegfried, because also it until so this one doesn't last the entire day. It lasts until the outcome is changed in your favor. Okay, interesting. But still, I think just because we're stacking other things already, because we got the victory, we got the wisdom. The only other one that exists is the influence, and that's not very useful. And I know that we could probably do multiple, but I don't know. I like the idea of touching all bases.
Yeah, okay.
So
Yeah, it makes
I
sense.
would like to do protection.
I like it. Okay. So spend the humanity, good sir.
Yep. We drop it.
The time is we don't have to roll for the time, like we're taking time, so
Yeah.
I'm not too picky about it. Nevertheless, the grandma's humanity is getting a little low. So it's not under 50 yet, keyword there, but it's getting there.
Aren't
All
we
right.
helping or something?
Yeah, we haven't rolled that check yet. So I think we've rolled part of that check. Like yeah, so
What shall Malik roll?
Siegfried rolled some sort of check just a moment ago.
That was a 7 on the language check to help with the
Okay.
ancient Norse.
So so there's two checks that it sounds like there's two separate checks that could be helped with now. Nevertheless, there's the idea of Oliver and knowledge occult. And then there's the idea of Siegfried and like he's using, language, the old Jotun tongue, but it's also like if you have some sort of skill that's related towards like understanding language or things like that, even an investigation I could argue for in the right way to like just notice things. I know your focus is very high, so I think it would be not a bad idea for you to roll on either account because I don't remember. I don't have your sheet right in front of me right now. But
I
do you
think
have knowledge occult? I don't think so.
I
No, you
do.
do. You have. Okay, so
I have it
and
rank B.
that's pretty good. Okay, no, my bad. So yeah, you're helping
Yeah.
Oliver through and through. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, is what you're doing. So Oliver and you roll a separate check from Siegfried because he's just helping with the language, and he's building. So we're basically building two separate tactics pools, is what we're doing.
So,
Yeah.
and you said focus, right?
Yeah, you can definitely. Yeah, knowledge occult with. Yeah, this one's definitely with focus.
Focus.
Ow. What can I do with a rank B? That's
Rank
where I
B
can
is
do
a
one.
yeah. You have one reroll per scene, and you can spend up to 3 of the appropriate strain on that roll.
I'll
Don't have to
do
keep
the
the
reroll.
removal.
You don't have to keep the reroll. You can keep whichever one's better.
Oh, it's the same anyway.
Uh,
Oh wait, no, this one's a
I'm
plus
No.
one because I accidentally put a 4.
Oh yeah.
Like an
Okay.
idiot. Like,
Wait.
all right, so this
that's-
one's plus 1.
All right. A 6 is pretty.
and also
big.
I'm willing to pump some strain into it.
As am I.
How much are we feeling? 2, 3?
For me, I think do we need it that high? I could go 3, but like
We could also just
I'm
do
more
one,
comfortable
actually.
at 2.
Yeah,
One would make it even. Alright, fair enough.
Inevitably,
me.
there is a balance to the mechanic in that you guys can I think it's like a max of like a +3 you guys can inevitably add to it, but from a tactics perspective. But
You mean like together?
with how tactics work, it takes a little bit to get to that, but nevertheless, I'm scrolling to the button.
Well, I
So
could do 2 for me, and then you could do 1 for yours, so we both have 8.
8 is
Sounds
pretty
good.
good.
Yeah,
8 is pretty good.
8 for both of us.
8 is great.
Yeah.
So I want to look up the clip. Okay, so 8. If you both have 8, that means that obviously Oliver I think is leading by the aspect of the help. So that would give Oliver a +3 on his roll, which turns his 8 into an 11.
Whoa.
Which
Awesome.
That's a lot.
is insane.
Big brains.
Teamwork.
And, between you and Siegfried, with those 2 bonuses, what am I doing? It's not an opposed one. It's not targets. It's not durations. It's a small set of actions. So, um, interesting. Doesn't say it has to be from different people. It just says from one person. I don't know. I'm gonna do it that way because that's how else do you get to the big numbers. Guys, you. Oh my goodness. All right, let me finish
Uh-oh.
doing Seraphina's number as I calculate how high this is.
We're going to learn literally everything about this axe right now.
Right.
We are beholding the universe.
I'm going
No, the
to
multiverse.
I'm gonna use the wisdom reroll because that's the whole point, just to see if I get something higher. It is the same, ironically. So the dice have spoken, which is still a +1. And then she has a
So
her focus is as good as Malik's, so
Pretty good.
yeah. But she's lightly wounded still in
Ouch.
so that goes down to a 4. So she rolled a 5. She's getting that's knowledge occult. She already used her reroll. She can spend mental strain. Ooh, kind of low on mental strain, guys, but that's okay. She'll spend her mental strain because the whole point is to. Well, no, if you guys are helping her, she probably could save some mental strain. 'Cause
Overdo
it's-
it.
Don't overdo it. So okay, so she's coming in at a 5, at her
Good.
roll, which is good, but it wouldn't actually be enough to like fully ever know everything. So then you guys come in and are like, "Hey, Grandma, we're gonna help you. Did you see this? Did you notice this? I'm gonna turn to that page for you." And all of a sudden, it turns into this like weird like orchestra of like hermetic science and alchemy and astrology and discussion of fate and future and past and present.
Writing things on the floor.
And it's this weird montage that happens where time kind of speeds up as you guys prepare things, and the fang gets laid around at different parts of the room, and then eventually placed at the center of the table, in the center of the pentagram, and the whole conversation continues into that idea. And if I'm just gonna stick with what I have here for now, in interest of the focus, if nothing else. But you guys did not. I'm wondering if you did, but it doesn't really matter for this point. But for future reference, tactical bonus could have been added to your rolls. You guys rolled really well, so it's not the end of the world. But nevertheless,
Still
with
feeling pretty good.
you guys helping her, you're giving her a +6 on her roll.
Awesome.
That's a lot.
So her 5 turns into an 11.
Well, there you go. Now you know it works out. There's the number.
You know, I used a couple rerolls in there for that, but that's still that's really good for level 7s. Uh, for any level in some ways. Like, where's the
Talking
thing?
about
The
teamwork.
difficulty. Okay, so on the difficulty task rankings, that's on page 16 in the book. It talks about 10 to 12, and I quote, is Herculean tasks even a trained person could not handle without stupendous luck. Like, it's like, that's the range we're in right now. It's just crazy to me. I was looking for, gosh, I don't want, now that I realize I'm about to say this out loud, I'm going to say it in reverse. I was looking for a 7 or a 6.
Well, you got an 11.
But I was is what I was looking for, and I get an 11. It was really cool. So nevertheless, tactics is how we got there because she couldn't have done this by herself. Like she could have, if she had to roll really well. Nevertheless, there is a. I think the rest of you kind of, I don't think feel or realize exactly what happens, I think, in the kitchen at this time. I think it's like to you all, you're watching the ritual go off, it goes to its last point, and there's something about where towards the end, um, Seraphina tells Siegfried to grab the axe on the table and put your hand on it. And as his hand touches, you all just like see a brief moment where the candle light just gets poofed out and it just gets really cold in the room. And that's the general gist of what most of you have going on here. Seraphina has like her eyes go like almost white and she like fully white like there's like clouds in her eyes almost and she's like there's a level of like shaking that is in her hand that hints to where she's not fully in control of like what her movements are doing, um whether that's like seizing from the power itself or something like moving her hand. She herself comes to the axe and kind of touches the blade at the you know, around the same time, almost exactly the same time as Siegfried, and she has this moment where there's a pressure in the room and she senses it, and you guys don't feel anything because it's like Siegfried, because it's the thing, it kind of like shields him from these things. But there's a brief kind of pause, if you will, of everything as um
Siegfried is in control. I would like to put my other hand on top of Seraphina's, kind of to ground her a little.
when you do that, you realize that she's like crystal cold, like she like stone cold, but she feels like crystal herself,
For the more
and
reason.
you can sense this swirling kind of pressure around her. um and it's like not her though, it's like around you. It just feels like it's hitting her, but it's so focused on you that you're kind of, I don't know, it's like you're so within yourself that you don't notice how it's affecting others. And it takes you a few moments to realize that you are able to move and speak, and Seraphina is mumbling magical words, but everyone around you is paused and like frozen. And you can't tell if they're frozen in the crystal, frozen in in time. Like it feels like there's this crystal, like spectral, like fractal space around you that you're within, and it's like you're having to like move through really really deep snow as you like sense it around you almost. And it's cold, just like snow is itself. Like it's very very cold, but it feels comforting to you, even though the frigidity of it is like intense. It's almost welcoming to you. You take a moment to like breathe in and like sense this for a second. And you hmm, I don't know, you feel someone watching you, even though you know there's people around you. Like it's like it like they're not in the room, but they're in the room, and you look up and all of a sudden you see the sky, even though you should see an apartment ceiling, and it's this thunderous roaring dark pall of a sky, lightning bolts and thunder, a storm coming in, and you're drenched now in the rain as it just pours down onto you, and you are there on the street somewhere in the city, maybe. But the axe is in your hand, and you're getting rained on, and there's a storm cloud, and there's still this like crystalline kind of snow stuff that seems to be like dominating your vision as you look around. There's still that feeling that something's with you. What do you do?
Shit, so is this the same as in like the X tutorial where I learned to split them, or is this a different kind of feeling?
I mean, that's a good way to put it.
I
The
love the
distinction
question.
matters.
Is this the same?
Is this the same as the tutorial? I love it. This, I guess there's a similarity to that feeling, to be sure, but there's um an intensity to its presence that is like the difference between like taking a shower and being lost out at sea and covered in water at all moments, that's like seeping at you. You can't escape the water. It's like the shower or bath, you're still covered in the water, but you can escape. You can. You feel like you're like drowned in that presence right now. And that comes from Sarah, whatever Seraphina has done. And once she's done doing it, you definitely get the impression that it's her, and now that you think about it, she's here. But she's not. Like, she's aware of this, but she's not that other presence. She's just like keeping you in the storm, or no, like on the street. Like she's like keeping you grounded. Like it's almost like the storm wants to sweep you up, and she's the person that's holding you here long enough for you to maybe ask a question, like, to the entity, get a understanding of what it wants, if you will. But either that, you're meeting it. You understand that the axe itself is not just an axe. That there's something within the axe that needs you to do something.
I heard you, I'm just thinking, because this
The
is a big
thunder
moment.
rolls.
Twilight of the Thunder God, Ragnarok awaits. What do I ask? Guess the biggest question would be, what is it you truly want? Because you can't just expect me to kill people all the time. That's stupid. So what do you want me to do?
So another thunder, and then lightning just right, like almost in front of you, and that crystal pressure around you almost shatters from it, and you all, like, I think it's like part of like in the pause, you guys would hear the others in the room, Seraphina make a like, oh my goodness. But you hear Siegfried in the space you're in, Seraphina's voice echo like a big over a loudspeaker. Oh my goodness. And like this lightning bolt. And there is a shadow. There is a huge entity that stands where that lightning was, like searing through its spectral form is this the energy like of lightning itself like empowers it, and it stands over you, and like it slowly stands up even taller, and it is just, oh my goodness, this thing is beyond huge as it finally gets bipedal and it looks down towards you, and its spectral energy is just ignited with lightning and starlight and like dust from the sky itself. Like it makes no sense what this creature is with what you see.
Because I knew giants were big, but you're ridiculous.
I like to think that you don't know why the thing is smiling or how it's smiling, but it's smiling because it doesn't have a mouth. But you just sense like this essence that you the compliment was well taken, if you will, for those things. And you feel the axe in your hand as you look at this thing like like synergize with the energy, and it's hot in your hand and it's like burning your hand, but it doesn't like scald you in any ways. Like it doesn't, you're not burned like it, but it feels in the same way. And you could probably look down at your hand and it would seem similar to what you see of this giant, and how the axe is reacting to your hand, and how your
Oh,
arm,
yeah, then I'm looking down.
you're taking on some of those similar qualities, right, if you will. And the entity, if it's not a words that I think it uses, I think it's more of like this like imagery in your mind, if you will, and like senses of emotion and feeling and expectation and want, need, and desire, kind of all wrapped up together, of like and trying to answer a question of what it sees from you and what it needs. And there is a like it's like a premonition, if you will. Like you get this image of you and with others. You're not alone by any means. Like maybe it's Luther, maybe it's Malik, these others that you've met, Oliver or Serafina, you know, even, Dr. Current, maybe that, their impression that maybe that's who there's with you. But there is this underground impression you get. Like you don't get a lot of specific details. You're just under the city somewhere, and you kind of feel you with the axe standing in front of this thing. I don't even know how to describe it to you right now. Your brain wouldn't know how to describe it. It's like shadow and crystal, and it moves and it breathes. It doesn't make sense right now what it is. It doesn't seem anything that would be anything other than the most horrendous demon you've ever seen. Like it doesn't look like, at any way you could describe it, and the you feel yourself like being taken over almost. You're possessed, if you will, as the energy of the Jotun, this lightning starlight kind of surges through you, and you are striking between two worlds as you destroy this thing that's underneath the city. And when the fang absorbs that thing, you get the impression that the Jotun might they that the you that your heralding as being the wielder would be, sufficient. You would have walked through your prophecy, and it would pass to the next heir. Is kind of the impression you get for those things. But the impression you get from this image is very like it does remind you, I think, of some of the quail things you've seen, but this entity is I don't know. It shakes you to your core, right? I need you to roll a horror check, good sir.
Yes.
And this is where the protection thing from Oliver can come into play, if needed, from his astrology.
Yes.
Okay, so
Roll for a roll check again.
right. So
Just 1d(f) or something?
no, it's still 3DF, but you're rolling with your discipline, focus, or stability willpower.
Alright, let me go through all of those. Discipline is a C.
And
Stuff is a 2.
it's yeah.
Willpower is a 3, so 3d(f) plus 3. Let's go with that.
And then you, because of Oliver's help with protection, you get a reroll, to assist with that. And that I need to remind myself what that means. Yeah, you choose the result that benefits you, and then once it goes off, that means, well, you don't have quintessence, so never mind.
Whee!
Oh, it's the same, so fuck it. Let me just some strain into it. Willpower is a 3, so I should get 3 spiritual strain, if I remember correctly. So it should be a 5. Yes?
What is your stability?
Stability.
It's a D. Your
It's
stability
a
is a
D.
D, so that means you can spend 2 spiritual.
This still vexes me. Okay, so 2. So 4. Still better than 2.
Okay, 4 is what you're coming in at. All right, the difficulty was a 4. Good job.
Yay!
That still
Nice.
does mean that you will take,
Thank you, Oliver. Love you.
instead of 8 sanity damage, that you can use your +1 force of will to break down to have to spend 2 spiritual damage to avoid that damage. 2 spiritual strain, I'm sorry, to avoid that damage. Because your force of will is at a +1.
So I just take off 2 more spiritual strain.
Yeah,
Yes?
you can take off 2 spiritual strain to avoid that stress of seeing this strange monster within your vision. That you
Wait, I
know,
would have taken 8 spiritual damage?
if you would have failed, it would have been 8. Yes.
That would have been all my spiritual damage. What the fuck?
Your
Dark
force of will,
Soul.
you would have
I'm
gone
so
through more
lucky.
spiritual. Yeah, you would have gone through more spiritual strain to be sure, probably. But yeah, you would have. Yeah, you're getting a little stressed out right now.
Seeing a god, pretty much.
You know,
Closest equivalent.
You're getting a recommend whatever thing just for that. I'm saying it already.
Bitchin'.
I love it. Okay. So Siegfried, that's what the general kind of vibe of what I think you get from your vision. And you start to come out of the fog and the storm, and you're swirled almost back into the apartment from the wind itself, and the walls start to like restructure around you, and like a mist, the different other people, their voices are the first things I think you hear before you see them, of the other group members in the kitchen and dining room watching or just resting themselves as this goes on, and you blink a few more times and they're back and time is back to normal, and um the rest of the group goes through, the candles go out, you hear the oh my goodness from Serafina, and she falls like face first, almost like plants her face like really hard on the table, and just like stops herself real like her face hit, but it didn't like fully hit. As she like gains consciousness, Oliver, you know, jumps next
Rush
to her.
over and
And she like help her lean
Yeah,
back in the
I'm
chair.
about to rush over and tuck the fuck out of her. Are you okay, Grandma?
Oh my goodness. I don't know your vision, and it's your right to share. I will share what I know with what I have seen.
Well, saw this really big shadow thing. I said, wow, you're a big boy. And I think it smiled at me. And after that, it's like, I I need some time to process this.
I think I'm in
Holy
love.
shit. My
Well-
head hurts. I think I saw a vision of Oliver, who like
What?
shielded me from big damage.
Oliver, the
So
astrology
much is
worked.
wrong.
It
My brain trembles.
she shakes it off again. She like pats Oliver's arm and kind of like leans away from him to like give herself more of her weight and strength back, and
Right.
she as she pats you, she more or less is saying thank you, as she's trying to piece together her own words, and she you have an item that was crafted by the first architects, my good Siegfried. To you,
Yeah.
in
Big,
simplest
big bad
terms,
axe that eats bullets. No. It's weird.
yeah, that it can do that because of its. You would call them gods in today's world. I don't think they would even call themselves that. They are far too selfish, I feel, to be godly. But they were creators of much of what you see. You have light and sound and immortality. It is esoteric magic that most of our modern science can't even begin to scratch the surface of. The ciphers help us bridge the gap to understand the ancient architect's intent. The spells that weave between the cells of our being, the literal words of matter, words of creation, lost to time itself. The Fang was created before those words even were thought to, before mortality even sought those words, and we've been seeking them for thousands of years. The Fang is.
Before even Emir himself?
Well, his understanding is. Yes. Yes, like this axe was. But also the understand of Emir is. He is older than your stories would understand from the Norse mythology. The giants existed at a time before even time existed. In a way, it is, you can't quantify that element. The time is our it's our creation, our mortal understanding of how to try to make sense of the the, the architects, their intent. And because of our obsession with it, we've almost slowed down how to get to that understanding in a way without trying to make it a finite thing that cannot be finite. This is why the science has failed so many times in these ventures. Is the perspective is all wrong. You can't bring something down to that minutia if it's not meant to be that way. It exists outside that understanding. She seems herself overwhelmed, and she looks to you all and says, "His destiny is wrought in a time beyond our understanding, and we, whether we want or not, seem to be part of that weave the architects have laid, and I feel I've been guided to find you, Siegfried, because of this. That maybe, just maybe, it's why I've done what I've done." And she like has some tears kind of well up in her eyes, a little bit at that. And I feel like I
I
could
just
answer
wanted to play
all of your
guitar.
questions and none. So if you have questions, I will try my best.
So, still don't quite understand what the Fang wants. I so far interpreted it as killing intent. But
That
could
is
be that it's
true.
just seeking sensation itself in some way?
It it seeks for what is not meant to be here, I think, is part of it. If you pay attention to what you've even told me of what's happened these last few days, it seems to have risen to the occasion every time one of the architects or the darkness that people are trying to manipulate around it is at play. The Fang is, I don't know, it knows its purpose is to be a balancing act, but you cannot balance by itself. You must choose how, and you can. Not every wielder has chosen.
That's the thing, Grandma. I'm trying to understand. I really do, but you need to understand. I'm just a guy. I'm just a musician.
Maybe that's
And that
why
thing has somehow chosen me? Why?
many of the wielders have been artists in a way. It is an odd thing, yes, but I'm not surprised. There is the Jotun before their demise, which is its own complex, before they were removed from this material plane by actions of other entities the architects did not expect to occur. The Jotun were some of the first entities on Earth. They were some of the first. They weren't mortal in the same way that we understand mortality, but they died. They could be killed. They were not invincible. They were just powerful. And they had kingdoms, empires, technologies beyond our understanding that encompassed our entire planet millennia before we were even created, before humanity even walked and broke away from our evolutionary ancestors. This is a time that existed millions of years ago.
It is
So
a
being
long
confused,
fucking
Siegfried,
time.
is not too far-fetched. We are talking about an item that was crafted for a time that has been dead, purportedly, by our own linear understanding. But this makes me question, does that even matter? That this axe breaks through that idea. It shows that time is not important, that action is important. Life here is
So,
important.
time is convoluted, is what you're saying.
Is it not? I know you're young, Siegfried, but think of what happens when you get locked into a performance and your spirit is singing and the notes are fluttering in the air and your audience members are swaying and closing their eyes and humming along. There's an element where time doesn't matter, where it's erased, where that moment is simply just, that's all it is life.
You've
And
got
to
a
think
point. I've had performances that lasted hours, but it only felt like minutes.
the axe maybe chose you because of your understanding of that preciousness of life that comes from your your music and your family's art. And I make guesses. Yeah, I do know from what I just saw there that the giants were a people who loved to sing, who loved art and performance, and maybe the first crafter, the first giant who begged to the architects to create this fang, whatever the word. Maybe he was a bard himself. She shakes her head, just like overwhelmed by the possibility of this. Like, you can get the impression she saw like so much in those few moments that her brain is struggling filtering through everything right now herself. Like she's pretty sure that's true, but you get the look on her face that she's like, I don't know, maybe it is true. For those things.
I don't know, maybe. Okay, Grandma, let's. You you need a nap. Go lie down. I'll make you some tea. And we
She
both have to go
nods
through
at
a
that.
process right now.
She nods at that, and she'll have Oliver help her make some tea, and then she'll go lay down for a bit in the bedroom. And the like. And I did not expect this flashback to take this long, but that's cool. We did some cool roleplay. As I look at the time, I'm like, oh goodness. But nevertheless, I love the idea of you guys being outside the warehouse, and Siegfried is just like all of that time in like a few seconds as he's like been replaying and replaying and replaying and replaying through, as you know, often when you're in a passenger in a car you get very introspective, especially if there's other people quiet or not talking, right? And he gets kind of locked into that kind of backflow, if we will. I like to think at some point in that same evening, though, as I mentioned, I wanted to do another flashback, and I don't want to forget about that idea. Is I like to think of that some evening, not for a extended period of time, but like maybe 20, 30 minutes, an hour tops. Oliver like falls asleep and exhausted, physically, mentally exhausted, and is like on the couch and wakes up later, and obviously like grandma or someone put a little blanket on you or whatever, right, before it's time to go. But the flashback that I had in mind was the session beforehand when you weren't able to join us. We did some of these dream elements, and I wanted to
Yes.
make sure before we moved much further on, Oliver had I guess that opportunity for things. But the obvious, I think, inclination of where to start with the dream is our dreams are often repetitions of actions, that we've have been important, if not traumatic or dramatic to ourselves. And one of those key elements that I think Oliver has replayed in his own mind a few times already is the going to Silas at the library, seeing his own obsessed notes spread apart in that study room, and him and you finding the connection of the first cipher and walking through the ritual only for it to take the life of Silas and turn him into this dust of the earth. And that idea, I like to think in the dream replays itself, a couple times, and it's always eventually wiping your tears sort of away, standing up and gathering that little bit of ash. And in the third or fourth time of doing that, you go through that. I I would like to think like a dozen more times before you fully realize it in the dream, but that the ash itself is like turning to like a beach sort of like sand thing situation, and you're slowly like not in the library, and it's not a beach, there's no water about, it's a desert, and you have this um like I'm on my knees, I'm covered in the sand ash, and I'm realizing that this ash is not just Silas's, this sand is not just Silas's, this is however many of people in the thousands of years that these ciphers have been involved have been taken and kind of offered to the gods and the architects. And it gives you a pause for a moment before you kind of like really look at your surroundings in this desert, and then you're like in front of this uh, stone statue, sure, I guess they call it, but it like the way the stone is how I imagine it. It almost feels like metal, like platings on it. And you see a depiction of a bipedal man, but he has the head of this bird, stork kind of situation, and the idea of Thoth comes to your mind.
PTSD.
Oh my god, I am getting PTSD. That's for different reasons, though.
That's for different reasons, though. I love it, and he has this like weird deific staff that kind of pounds into the ground next to you, and he's large, he's a giant, right, in his own way. And when the staff pounds into the ground, it like disperses the ash, and yet again, like how you were covered with Silas's ash, you're covered in all this ash, and it like forces you to like stumble back, and you have to like grab your walking stick and kind of stand up and kind of like jab it into the ground to force the wind, to like brace yourself
Being
against the
covered
wind.
in it.
And once it disperses, you're just just pale, just um white ash just all over you, just like, and the uncomfortableness of it. I just imagine as a person myself, and just thinking about that is just like
I mean,
covered.
just the feeling of the
Yeah.
ash, but then like the smell of it too, how it permeates in every single sense, like gets into the eyes, gets into the nose, gets into everything, the way that it sticks to things.
Yeah. Um, and then you start to hear like not exactly music or notes, but like resonances, like noise that like seems to unify, but it's not like a human purposeful song. It's like something that happens because of like the syncopation that happens when a stream goes down. But it's not a stream. It's like you're hearing like space. You're hearing like time. You're hearing like the universe churn, and there's that like those rumbling noises that start to build. And that forces you eventually open your eyes, and you find yourself in front of this ancient platform, presumably in like ancient Egypt is definitely the vibe. And it's broken and dilapidated, but all the sand is gone, and the ash, the only sand or ash that is on you, and you kind of feel the presence of Thoth kind of standing near you, and you both take in how you're standing on this platform, but you're looking out and you're not on Earth. Like it's like you're out somewhere in the universe that's allowed to like look at a different perspective of where Earth is. And you kind of get the impression that one of those little blips out in the sky is Earth. And you look, and like it's like Thoth almost points to it and like nods at you and says, yes, that's that idea. And you're like, there's that intensity that comes from that removal of your what you're safe from. And he looks at you and you look at him, and there's that understanding that he's just like, just hold out for a second, I need to show you one more thing. And that pressure is there, like your mortality is like, holy crap. Like I imagine like your own subconsciousness is making your subconscious body shake with like the intensity of like you're talking to a god. Like you're not sure, like, and it's not like in game mechanics term, like Thoth isn't at that level, which is kind of an interesting thing to say. For those things, like there is that pressure that there's something bigger than him, and that scares you even more. And that's what he needs you to see. And he turns you to follow him on this platform over the curvature of it. So, like, go over the horizon briefly and break away from seeing the speck of earth in the distance. And he brings you to this. I think the easiest way to describe it is like a Tartarus like prison structure thing that's made from like planets and like stars and nebulas, and it's like you're on this platform looking down into it churning underneath you, and you understand that's the noise you've been hearing this whole time, is this
Like a water wheel, but
Mhm.
instead of water, stars.
And within it there is this presence, that you feel before you see anything. And I like to think that like Thoth, if you will, like puts his staff down, two hands diagonally, so that the bottom shaft of it, and he's bigger than you, and he's on the right side, like goes in front of you to like protect you in a way. Like it's obvious there's that layer where he doesn't want you to fall in, if anything else or whatever. Like it's very, very, very specific action that he's making to be like, you stay here, just look for a second, kind of thing. And he says something in like ancient Egyptian, if you will. And you remember something from, it sounds somewhat similar to the cipher that you and Silas said. Like there's some like more than half the words are the same. And but there's a different kind of inflection and whatnot towards the end, and you don't have now to understand it. Like it's like it's like dream words, like it's like Charlie Brown, kind of turns into. But once he says those words, there's this like periscope, if you will, of like smoke that like filters up, and it's dark, and it any of the light and starlight that's around you just gets absorbed by it, and then within the darkness it starts to splay out like a face hugger, and it has like wings and fingers that are all around it, and then within the palm of that hand and whatnot, the periscope idea comes more clear, as there's like this like almost singular eye that like pokes out like an anglefish, and you see like that teardrop gorgeous like garnet ruby purpley color that like it has this like starlight gold filter off it, and you want to take a step forward, and Thoth pulls you back, and it's just, and you look at this thing, and this thing is just like it is the most beautiful thing you've ever seen, and it's not, but you think it is. Like it's scary and enticing, but you want to grab it, you want to pick the fruit from the apple from the tree and eat it. That's what you want. And Thoth just pulls you back again and says no, and he looks at you, and he says a few more words, and there's like this bright like starlight that just comes and clamps, and the mist just goes away and disperses. And you have Thoth look at you one final time before you wake up from your strange nap, and you see this bird, undead sort of face looking at you, and he says one word, Ma'at, and you wake up.
Ooh. All right. Well, I got that down now.
At that point, everyone's like gathering in the car and whatnot, and I imagine you're replaying as best as you can the imagery of the dream before, as dreams do, they start to spindle and lose their continuity. And trying to solidify it, you maybe even write some things down in your journal to help remember and the like, right? And that's a very introspective drive, over to the warehouse, and you guys did the speedy crazy crap that Malik did last time to get you there. And we will circle back to being in the car. The car's still on, but it's like in park, as you guys kind of are waiting for the decision of like how you want to approach this in simplest terms. Before we go any further to that decision, though, I would like to see if anyone wants to raise their vigilance for this new scene. That would matter the most to. Seraphina's gonna save. No, she's got an awareness of B. She'll try the reroll. Nope, not worth it. She's gonna just keep her vigilance where it's at because she's already pretty low on mental strain. And she's lightly wounded, so her vigilance is somewhat lower. So yeah, this will be setting your vigilance for the warehouse while we're at the warehouse. I'm gonna call it.
I'll raise. So my awareness is B. How much can I raise it? Is it just 3?
Up to 3. The B also gets you the ability to roll an active roll to see if you can get higher as well if you want.
I mean, nothing wrong with trying, right?
Yeah, you get it once per scene, so.
Really, what was I looking at? Do I roll my vigilance, which is 4? Or
It's perception.
perception? 3. That's
Ha! It's the same damn thing for me.
okay. So what if it's lower after rolling?
You always can keep whatever's higher.
All right. I
With
still
your
want to
roll.
boost it up with points, though. The 4. I want to make it a 6 if I can.
You can make it a 6. Just spend the mental strain.
Goodbye to mental strain.
Right?
I'm gonna spend 3 strain for a 5.
5. Sweet. Oliver, Current, or Siegfried, do you want to increase your vigilance?
Yes, I'm going to spend 1 humanity and make the ghosts do it for me. My
Ooh.
spirit guardians.
Classic. I'll use 2 mental to boost mine up to 5.
Wait, sorry, I was just making some food. What am I raising vigilance for? Just give me a bridge.
Vigilance.
We're going into the warehouse.
Like seeing what you guys
Okay.
see. Yeah. But this is setting your vigilance
Really a
for the
plus
rest
2.
of the scene. So. Yeah.
And let me just.
I'm impressed.
That's mental, I think. It
You
was.
can spend up to 3 mental. Yeah.
Well, let me spend 3. I'm at maximum. Somehow. I don't know how.
No, you guys have got quite a bit of strain back recently, but it makes sense. Okay. All right.
I'm at
So
5.
you're at 5. All right. Those of you at 5 or higher, which is I think everyone other than Serafina.
Fuck that bitch. It's for me now.
Sorry, I'm reading my abilities for the first time, it seems. What the fuck?
Jesus, mother of fuck.
I feel that.
You were supposed to
On a
be the
spiritual
best of
level.
us.
You're supposed to be the best of us. Why? Why?
No, I am the best of us, but I'm like remembering that the fucking unique mechanic for medium is weird.
It is. Well, they're all kind of weird. That's why they're unique. All right. So who got? Okay. So who got a 5 or higher?
Yo,
We all
I
are
did.
at 5 or higher, I think.
We did. Okay. Cool. Making sure I got my brain right. All right. You park the car,
I
and
also got a 5 or
you're
higher.
you're looking at the warehouse, and then kind of, you're parked on the like southern side, and like on the western side, there is a group of like a half dozen trucks, like big loading trucks, if you will. Not semis, but like, storage trucks. And around them is a group of somewhere between 75 to 100 and plus people. They're just like chilling, like obviously like waiting, and there's like a couple tables out, and they're like being like there's some music playing and whatnot. Like it's a little weird vibe for like what like Mr. Sterling intended to be here for the first get go. All of you that got a 5 or higher though, you notice 2 other things that make this situation seem really odd other than there's a party going on. One, no one's inside the warehouse. It's closed off. Completely closed off. They're all outside. Okay. 2, subtly you all hear within the warehouse from like the couple sparse open windows and whatnot, there is a subtle like singing happening. Like it's like high, like people are in like their head voice, like ah da da da. It's like okay, and it's only like a handful of voices. It's not like a hundred or so like you see here. There's a handful of voices singing inside the warehouse. Okay, and then out, there's 100 or so people gathered around getting food, drinks. There's some music playing to like muffle these singing voices, obviously, is the impression you get. And then smattered amongst these 100 or so people are a probably 2 dozen or so that you can see from the perspective you're on. Of those 100 are dressed in such an odd way that it's just like I think it all makes you pause. And I'm gonna enjoy describing this to you. Um, Imagine these couple dozen. They're going around and they have like platters and drinks, and they're obviously the hosts, right? You're getting of this party, but each one of them, you know, those old school like big foam cheese hats.
Yeah.
Oh,
Imagine something like that, but like much more sleek and geometrical, but still that similar size, made out of like a weird plexiglass crystal.
crystal triangle hats.
Very geometric, very reflective.
Like a
Big.
graduation cap esque
Bigger.
kind of hat,
But made
Bigger.
out of crystal.
but bigger and made out of crystal.
Yes.
What the fuck?
Remember, this is the
Okay.
80s, guys. This is the 80s. So big hair and everything, too. Nevertheless.
I,
like,
Brandon, am triggered.
all
I'm
right,
triggered by
and
everything.
each one of these people are wearing.
Triggered by your triggering.
I know
They're
what's to come.
wearing basically like very thick, clear and or black like pleather raincoats that are like very drapey and very like Blade Runner esque.
This is a
Okay.
cool-
Okay. And they're like the major domos of the party, and it's like you can't help but, and like some of them have like lights in the plexiglass, and they're like flashing and stuff. It's like a rave or something. It's odd, like, to be sure, what you're seeing here, as things are going on, right? And you guys have this moment where I imagine you all pause and are taking that in, and you start to like look at each other and are like, okay. And I imagine Serafina will say, "Well, I don't know if I can blend into that crowd very easily. So are we attempting to sneak past them, or do you want to put it in drive and floor it, Malik?"
Let's not
Sorry,
cause a commotion right now.
That's Serafina.
no, I was physically away from the head for a second.
Oh, you're good.
Yeah, let's just
There's-
not cause a commotion right now. Don't need more cops showing up here,
Well,
if at all
I think
possible.
the crowd seems pretty diverse. We probably could just blend in for a second, I guess.
I don't know. Blending in might be hard if we can't talk like them.
Well, they're just New Yorkers like the rest of us, it seems. Other than the crystal heads, I don't know if I can pull that off.
I
Yes.
know I can't.
Try not to kill anyone or tie anyone up, for at least today.
Does that even have to be said?
You guys are boring.
Okay, look
If
here.
there's
We
another-
can't just go around
Yeah,
doing that all the
as
time,
you can
okay?
clearly see, yes, it has to be said.
If there's a coil in there, killing is an option. It can be a last resort, but let's not act like we have to keep our hands completely clean here.
Do what you want. My hands will stay clean for as long as they can. Well, as clean as they are now.
I'm saying, stop trying to be so optimistic about all this. This isn't an optimistic field, from what I'm gathering.
Have I ever said anything positive about
I'm
this?
talking to the rocker boy, not you.
That's perfectly fair. I'll be quiet. I'm saying my thoughts. And then
Speak
Malik
up,
will just
it's
kind of
kinda loud
slump.
here.
Yeah, Malik, shut the fuck up.
Okay, look here. I will literally squish you through the car.
Man try to keep his hands clean, automatically comes out with threats.
I literally said they're as clean as they are now. Of course, they're not as clean as most.
Right. Look, it shouldn't be.
Fuck you, get off my back.
I'm not on your back. Look, it should be easy enough to.
He meant metaphorically.
Yeah, and so did I. It should be easy
Malik
enough
just saying.
to sneak. Well, at least for the rest of you. Should be easy enough to get through. Did anyone else hear voices inside the warehouse?
Some kind of singing, I thought I heard.
Yep.
Which is weird considering they're already playing music.
Yeah.
Maybe chanting.
I
In the
think
church, we used to do that.
church always does that. I
Side.
think
Like
the
it blends in with my kind of music here.
no, I think the outside is more of a distraction to whatever's going on the inside.
Okay. So what do we
Then
do?
what the fuck do we do?
Yeah.
Well, obviously,
Luther.
whoever's good at getting in there should get in there and figure out what's
Yeah.
going on. The rest of us should stay here and make it easy for a quick getaway in case anything gets carry.
Luther, roll me a luck check based upon something you just said.
Dear gods. Hey.
Oh, nice.
A positive. Okay.
Yeah.
Luther is listening to Malik, and I imagine Luther peers back into the crowd, and he, from, you're all in the car, right? Probably a 50, 100 feet away, there's a gate and some other, like, boxes and, pallets and stuff between you and them. Definitely enough to break line of sight. But what draws your attention is, like, one of the doors from the warehouse opens, and it's one of the big draw, like, chain drawer, like you have to pull the chain to open it, kind of thing. And they open it enough for like 4 or 5 feet, and there's one of these crystal head guys, I'm gonna call them the crystal heads. They One of them nearby where that is, he didn't open it, it was open from inside, says something, and excitedly, about a half dozen, like, no, exactly a half dozen, 6 people get pointed at and say, "Oh yeah, you can come in, come in, come in," and they follow the guy in, and the door starts to close behind them. And those of you, all of you, have a vigilance of 5 right now, is what I'm, you hear the music outside get turned up at that moment. And like the bass and stuff gets higher and like more reverberated. But those of you with a 5 vigilance do hear the singing inside, like, turns like a vigorous, like convulsing almost scream inside. And you know that whatever happened to those 6 people was not anything other than deadly. There's just like this sink in your gut that just lets you know that this place is a guise of something very, very, very dark of what you're seeing here. So I'll let you guys sink in with that as I run to grab some water real quick.
We got a radio on us?
Did anybody feel that?
We gotta get moving.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's on the table, Big Chief.
Should we
The
all
question
go,
is-
or should we split up?
We should probably split up, probably groups.
Never
Wanna keep the
split
engine
the
hot?
party.
We're
Never.
not splitting the party, we just come from different angles of the warehouse.
It's clear that, or at least
I
to
would
me,
try
that everyone
semantics,
else-
but semantics is the definition of words, so I can't even say that as a dismissal. Fuck.
We're all going to the same place. It's okay.
What about the car?
Fuck the
Leave
car.
the car for later.
What if we need to get out quick?
We
There's
steal
a
a
lot of
car.
people here.
Can
You
you
have to steal
hotwire
a
a car?
We steal a car. What? If we can't make it back to our car? Oh, okay. Sorry. So you're above stealing a car too to get out of a situation in which we need to get
No,
out
I'm
of.
we stole a
asking if
car
you can
before,
hotwire a
you
car.
If
Um,
we
What, you
need,
think all these people? What, you think all these people just took the bus here?
if we
No, of
need,
course not.
if we need
But
to
if
get
they all
out,
go crazy, I know I can handle them all by myself.
if we need to get out quickly, I can possibly handle that. If you don't mind a massive headache afterwards.
So you can drive.
I already have a lot of, and not just from you guys. So how bad we talking?
What am I supposed to say? I'm the guy with the murder axe here.
Depends on how afraid you are of the other side.
Kill people.
Malik is just
No!
gonna start breathing in and then just giving a long, deep exhale as he's like, "This is gonna be fucking hell, isn't it?"
It's
Look,
an emergency exit. If
If
need
whatever we're dealing with is in there is as dangerous as it seems, we're gonna need to be a little bit more violent than the normal nature.
Need me to explode?
Yeah, can you explode things?
I can explode, but it would definitely explode you guys as well.
Okay, and if
Pancakes with mind.
I mean,
We need to be careful if there are still people alive in there who are innocent partygoers.
that makes sense.
Yeah, if they are innocent, then I can't blow up.
Look. Mm. I can get in first. I
And
can
what
draw
can you
them.
do?
I can literally take their attention away from the rest of you.
That'd probably be good because I'm not really good at stealthing.
I go in first.
Yes.
I take their
I
attention.
look the most like I belong in the crowd. So maybe I could mingle a little, see what I hear.
No.
Hear what I hear.
These people are just having a party. They don't know what's
They could be
actually going
cultists.
on. Well, the ones with
And
those
that's what makes it
globes
so
on their head.
difficult.
The ones with the globes on their head. They're the dangerous ones. But they're not going to give you any information.
Hey, all I'm saying is, if this is gonna turn out like it did the last few times, they're gonna take control of all of these people.
If they could take control of all of them, then they wouldn't
Why
be
else
out
would there
here.
be a party exactly where we need to be?
Just promise me one thing, please. Don't kill unless you're attacked first.
Okay, stipulation. What if something's already dead when I find it? Can I turn it into a zombie?
What?
Stipulation.
different.
There's a stipulation. I didn't kill it. What if it's just dead?
I like to imagine Pinky is getting out a receipt from the car and starting to like compose like a contract about this. Is what he's doing, and he's like holding it up to Siegfried to be like, you got to sign here. This is the stipulation.
Stipulation. You said I can't. Look, if I don't kill anything that isn't eldritch or otherwise, I'm not gonna kill
Siegfried.
people because I want to kill people. Okay, I'm not a maniac. But if something is dead,
That's
I'm gonna bring it back to
different.
life.
And then
You
Siegfried just
you
signs
see at
Pinky's contract.
as you cite it at the bottom, you see
You're lucky you're cute, you little shit.
you see above like the
Eyeball falls
Pinky's
out.
signature, it says the title of the entity's new brother, and then Pinky's underneath.
Rocker
He's
Boy,
like constantly. He's like drawing pictures of like him holding hands with like a full-grown dude with like his head blown out. He's just like me and my little brother.
Me and my new little brother.
Oh my god.
Rocker Boy, you know there's other reasons to kill outside of personal defense, right?
Jazz?
Such as someone else is going to
Yeah.
die.
Murderers, pedophiles, that kind of thing.
Anger.
I get it.
Anger, regret, sadness. Cause you want to, love of the game. So many.
Look, stick to your own morals. I'm not out here to babysit the rest of you. You're all grown-ass adults.
I'm trying to be.
I like to think Oliver at this point, you hear and see from behind your car, like another car pulling into the driveway. And you see like more people arriving in simplest terms and pulling into this parking lot and stuff that you guys are in. To come to this party.
Look, we need to
I
go
think-
in now.
I think this is the perfect time. We gotta act now. We gotta get out of here. We don't necessarily need to even sneak. It seems like just so long as we aren't seen by those guys down there, the crystal ones, and we make our way quick and easy to the warehouse, get inside, and stop whatever's happening. We can. As far as getting out, I'm not as certain, but I feel like maybe we can cross that bridge when we get to it. People are dying right now, so we can't just stay here.
I'm going. And Luther gets out the car.
We're not.
I
Are we just
spend-
all gonna go together? Or?
I
Yeah, we
spend
didn't finish our plan.
Liquid just follows.
one stress to activate impossible geometries and will slip through the crowd to get to where that gate was and slip through the doors there. And stealth would be with dexterity, I presume.
Yeah.
Okay. So that'll be a +3. And I'll only be able to spend one straight in it. Okay. So it'll be a 3. So I spend one strain because I don't have stealth as a skill.
Okay.
You ready, Gus?
Okay.
No, I'm not waiting.
I would like, now that my brain fully processes the idea of what you're doing. I want that the first stealth check is to get in with the crowd, nearby the crowd, by the trucks and stuff. I would like another stealth check to represent getting to and past the door. For those things. So literally you guys watch Luther step out of the car, walk 20 or so paces away from the car towards like the gate, and then the next thing you see, he's just all of a sudden behind one of the trucks, like that's outside the party, like 40, 50 more feet away from you guys, even further than that. He's like 60, 80 feet away from you guys. And then he so what do you guys do as we figure out that part?
My second roll is a 5.
I think at that point, Don Kurt just claps his
With
hands.
a 5,
like,
you guys lose track of where he is. With a 5, you have no idea where Luther is.
I fucking clap my hands and just go, "All right, kid, all bets are off." And I'm like, "All right, Mr. Zombie, let's go. Come on."
Mr. Zombie gets off from the top of the car and rolls off, and you have to undo the rope that you bound him with. And Pinky climbs on his shoulder and helps him realign his head so he can see more closely to the front.
All right, I'll catch you guys inside. Anybody that wants to come with
Thank
me
you
this
so
way
much.
can go this way. If you don't want to smell like zombie afterwards, I'd recommend going that way.
Yeah, I'm going that way. And Malik
You know what?
immediately turns.
Malik goes
I am
away.
coming with you because at this point I have an emotional attachment to Pinky and I want him to survive.
That's good. That's a good start to our relationship. We go. He continues just walking, I think, in a direction. I don't think it's near the party, because I don't think this old homeless, gross man with a zombie should be walking through a party.
Have fun with the relationship.
I imagine then
It'll be great. Have fun being alone.
I imagine that
I'm
you're
trying.
probably more following.
Do you like breathe that as you're walking away?
You're probably
I'm
more
trying.
following the direction that Luther went initially, Adrian, whereas Malik is more going towards the front gate where the party goers have been entering.
Yep.
Is kind of the idea.
I'll be bold.
And you know, you don't want to smell like zombie. It makes sense.
That too, yeah, no, fuck that.
If you don't want to see people die, you don't want to see them come back from the dead, and you don't want to smell like zombie, don't stand next to me, okay?
These are all valid reasons.
Why do you think Malik has never been next to you?
That's good, but you'll never get to see me at my true
Well, that's
power.
a lie, actually. We've worked together.
Okay.
This is even your final form.
Serafina, Oliver, and Siegfried are all kind of standing next to the car. Jurgen gets out and like goes to the driver's seat and says, I will be waiting for when we need to leave."
That's actually what I was gonna be like, Jurgen, Grandma, find somewhere safe for the car. Grandma, we'll meet at the warehouse.
No, I'm coming with you.
Oh, okay. If you think that you'll be all right, I'm gonna try to go on ahead and follow Luther the way he went.
Siegfried, with his
you
German
see
charm, is like, Grandma, you're old. Are you sure that is wise?
She's taken off her purse, and she, as she takes off her purse, she pulls out a small handgun out of her purse and cocks it, and then she
taken.
and then she resituates like this belt on her hip that has 2 alchemy fire on it and this big ass like World War II dagger on it, and she's just like, "Honey, I've been killing cultists and shitheads for longer than you've been born."
Point triple taken.
And
Does she
Oliver
look
sort of-
old? Is
Uh-huh.
she the strongest person? No. But she's gonna act like it, guys. She's gonna act like it.
Grandma don't take
She's
no
got
shit.
Molotov cocktails, a gun, and a knife as big as a short sword. So I think she'll be fine.
You know, but like in mechanical terms, like her vitality is really low, guys. Like she's not like she is old. Like she's not.
I understand the feeling.
You know,
She is
she has a little more strain than you, Oliver, just because she's slightly higher level than you. That's that's it. Nevertheless,
And yeah, flabbergasted, he looks up and down, looks over to Siegfried, and looks over to Jurgen. All right, I'll see you guys there then, and vanishes with impossible geometry as well.
she was expecting to walk with you, and you're just what? She just like what and looks at Siegfried and is like, "What just happened?" And Siegfried, I don't know if you could answer that question either, because like all of a sudden, all
no
of his
Eva magic fuckery. So should I
Yeah.
stay here? Do I go with Pinky or?
Well, okay. We have Current and Pinky and Zombie kind of going towards the back end, if you will, like southeast. Malice going more southwest. Serafina, now seeing that, is going to go more towards with Malik, I think. As you know, we had her grandson just teleported away from her. Love it. And then so Siegfried, do you go towards the front gate with Malik and Serafina, or do you hop? Are you going to go towards more the back gate with Current Pinky? You said you had this official. You said Pinky earlier, so that's what I'm hearing.
Yes, and somebody has to be the moral foil to Dr. Curry.
Well, Luther's ahead of that train, but yes.
In
Oliver,
that moment, at least, because Lufa is not with him.
Oliver, I would like from you at least one stealth check to get yourself within
Understandable.
the gate.
Okay, I'm going to be using the rank 2, so it's +3 to stealth checks. And would this be dexterity also?
Yes.
Okay. Let me roll. So 3DF +2 +3, and then what do I have in stealth? I have a B in stealth. So can I pump it with
That's 3 strain and reroll.
Plus 1 physical strain because I have very little, anyways. Whoop. Oops.
What the
I did
fuck?
something wrong. I did something wrong. I broke it.
Invalid dice expression.
You have to type
What
the
did
word.
you do?
You added too many
slash
pluses.
roll.
Maybe there was too many spaces. I don't know.
Let's see again.
Too many pluses.
Nope. There we go.
6. Woo.
6.
Really good roll.
Damn.
That's a really good roll. Okay, so
So yeah, I guess it also makes sense that it just like, all right, bye. Boom.
You can with that 6, not get within the warehouse, with that roll, but you can get as close to the warehouse as you want to with that 6.
Like I said, I was trying to follow Luther. If
Yeah.
in using impossible geometries, am I able to follow his footsteps easier than other people following them with their eyes?
What was your vigilance again?
I was at a 5.
Okay. I would say, yeah, with your 6, because I like the idea that, he's doing his second step as you're arriving with your first, and like almost like right before he steps away. And so, like, I like to think that you see him step towards the warehouse and kind of get a better idea of where he is, for that idea. Okay, so for everything that's going on there with the play-by-play of that, Luther is kind of popping into the dark warehouse inside. Like there's light and stuff in there, but it's like there's boxes and stuff, and you kind of come into a corner of the building that is like not within line of sight from whatever this singing that's happening is. You definitely hear it though of these people. As you get with inside. And then the others are kind of trailing forward. Okay. So if the Oliver and Luther have rolled stealth for their impossible geometries for this next play, for the start of the scene of where things are gonna go. If you want, the rest of you, as you move forward, Malik, Serafina, Siegfried, Pinky, and Current, I would like a stealth check from you, or I would like a deception check with charisma to like blend into the crowd.
Both things I'm equally terrible at.
Yeah.
So it's on you how you want to do that. Indeed, I'm going to with Serafina. She's going more towards the front entrance. So
Going
she
towards the front
does
door
have
of
rank C in deception, so I think she
Sick,
could
John.
go for a deception before a stealth because her charisma and dexterity is the same, but I still think she'd go for a deception. Sweet. She just rolled a +2. She will spend. That gives her to 2. She will spend 1 spiritual strain to get her to a 5.
What?
Oh,
For
fuck.
her deception check.
I swear, if one more person fucks up the goddamn thing.
Oh, that's very unfortunate.
Oh, well, fuck.
So that was an attempt at stealth.
Attempt at stealth.
You
Yeah,
trip
because I used
over
my
your
dexterity for the plus, right?
Um.
2 minus 1 is 1.
Okay, so I am gonna handle this. Though I think there's also.
Also, I'm sorry, I always forget how much does impossible geometries cost for humanity?
Based on the rank that you used it at, rank 1 or 2.
Okay, so 2 would be
2.
Mhm.
2. Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Don't forget your stress cost as well.
Yes.
Unless you have enigmas.
I'm gonna hold on to the 1 that I got right now.
Okay, so Okay, so Siegfried is coming in at a 2. You can only spend 1 strain on any check if you don't have proficiency. So if you want.
No, thank you.
Okay.
Am I rolling for a zombie as well? I'm assuming Pinky is just on me.
Well,
Stealth zombie.
I think the zombie should roll. Yes,
Yeah. Okay.
I think that makes sense. All right, and then
I'm at a 4. I'm gonna roll for a zombie real quick. I'm gonna spend 2 physical and go up to a 4.
and then Gothic, you're at a 1.
Yeah.
That's the familiar page. God damn
Okay. I'm gonna handle
it.
this.
Hey.
If it's
Like-
talking or sneaking, I'm not good at it.
Yeah, it's all good.
Cool.
I'm gonna handle this check more kind of like a collaborative check to where
Uh-oh.
Oh.
is what's gonna happen because you guys are all arriving relatively at the
Ah.
Jesus.
same.
I hit my elbow.
Give some
Ouch.
of you that didn't roll as well a higher chance to be successful.
Awesome.
Is what it will be inevitably. So, I'm gonna call the leader impromptu is Luther, because he just jumped into there. Right for those things. So, what did the zombie get?
I'm gonna say the zombie also got a 4.
Okay.
Spend 1. I'm not even gonna roll. He has an A and so I'll just spend 1. He'll be at 4.
I need
Just
to
like
move.
me.
Okay.
This zombie practiced stealth a little bit when he was alive.
Okay, and then all right. So, but I'm also going to look at my notes. All right. So the collaborative check just barely worked in your favor.
Oof.
Here's what it did. So Luther comes in at a 5, and then Oliver jumps behind him at a 6, brings it to a +3. But then we have a 5 from the my brain's farting. I didn't write the name down. We had a 5 deception from Serafina, and she brings it back. She kind of brings it down to a +2, and then we have Malik just like
Sneaky.
bring a bunch of attention to him as he kind of climbs over the fence and other things, and brings it down to a -1. But then, for whatever reason, it's not distracting enough because there's a weird noise from the back of the warehouse from a zombie and a homeless guy, and people, and then they see
All
that
of this is
footage,
happening
they're
at the
like, "Oh,
same
there's just
time."
2 homeless guys." Okay, as long as they don't interrupt the party, they're fine. And then
Yeah.
and then I'm sorry, Siegfried made a bunch of noise. And then and then
homeless
Alec made a
guys.
bunch of noise. But inevitably, with how collaborative checks work, even though it is a 1, it's only a -1 modifier. So it brings the entire check down to a 4 instead of a 5, and the difficulty is 4.
Oh, there you go. It's perfect.
So
evens out.
it's really, if the first 2 stealth people wouldn't have rolled a 5 or a 6, it would have been a very different story.
Oh no.
For those things. So you guys did inevitably kind of carry the roll.
Oh no.
Which is good. So no, those good things. So you guys are the odd people that came late to the party. You know, like that's the vibe here. Okay, you're here, cool. There's enough food, whatever. Do you guys know these people? No, I don't know who these people are. But it's like everyone's drunk enough and it's big enough now to where it's just like, okay, more the merrier is kind of the vibe. But you do get like checked over for like a couple of the crystal heads, if you will, come over to like like, you know, look you over, if you will. I don't know. They don't like pat you down or anything, but there's definitely this vibe of like them letting you know they're keeping an eye on you, sort of thing. But you start to intermingle in the crowd. And I would like Gothic to roll me a
Oh no.
luck check. Since
A luck? Okay.
yes, roll luck since your roll did come at the lowest.
Dear gods. Oh, dear gods.
Positive.
Oh, positive
Okay,
one.
Malik.
Oh.
Malik, for whatever reason, with how things him getting involved in the crowd, he's actually kind of closer to the door now. Then he just kind of got sucked into the crowd and is kind of closer by the door. And the chain door opens again, the big drawn door. And one of there's the crystal head guy that's standing by the door is just like, all right, our next six people, who are you? And people raise their hand. He chooses six people. He almost pointed at you, Gothic, to say you're coming, but you didn't raise your hand. So he goes to the next person. And they go in and follow into this like dark room. The music is going on, and they turn down the music outside, but then once the door closes, they turn it back up, and people start yeah, and getting like back into the definite like intense rave, if you will, vibe that's going on for those things. With your 5 vigilance, when the door is open, it's dark in there for like 50, 60 paces or so. And there's shelving units and pallets and stuff, but beyond there's like this like obvious like circle of lights that's been set up, and there's like these like silk draperies and things that are hanging down from the ceiling wall that kind of encircle around this central place where the steeple was that you saw outside. And you can hear the music, and there's like an organ in there. You think like someone's playing like music or something along with the singing. It's really subtle though, and it's very very bass. Lots of bass notes. It's not really high pitched in any means. Like the singing's doing all the high pitched
The brown
kind
note.
of thing. And those 6 people are going into the darkness. There's a voice saying, "Oh yeah, come in here, come here. Yeah, take your seat, take your seat. Who's next to see their future?" And kind of vibe is the idea. And the people outside are getting more drinks and getting more drunk, and they're feeding people, and it's like good hors d'oeuvre food. Like it's filling. It's not like you guys like are probably slightly apprehensive, but it smells really good. If you want any, it's there. But no one seems to be drugged or anything. Everyone's just drunk, and like they're just giving free booze out. Like no one's paying for shit. Is what they're doing. So,
That's not a drug.
yeah. In its own way, indeed. So, you guys, the kind of gate closes, and Malik and Serafina and Current and Pinky and the zombie and Siegfried. Malik and Serafina are more in the crowd, next to the crowd kind of thing. Serafina more in the crowd, you're like next to it. Malik near the door. And then further away from you, east of you and south of you, almost to the other side of the big warehouse is where Current and Pinky and Siegfried have climbed over with the zombie. And then Luther has just like ported inside, and like Oliver is just outside that door. And Oliver, if you want to roll another stealth check while that door was open to like sneak through the door, I'd allow that
Okay.
too.
Is my I think my +3 stealth bonus is all still active because it's
For the entire
for the
scene.
end of the scene. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
Ugh. So then with dexterity, because it's stealth /R.
Yeah, the only other thing to keep in mind is if you're spotted. Otherwise, it's the rest of the scene.
5.
All right. The DC was a 5, so
Cool. I also still had a
you
reroll.
yeah. With the 5 vigilance, I'm gonna say you probably see Luther moving further in away from you into the warehouse, taking a better position to see the central like drapery and whatnot that's there in the candlelight. Luther, with your 5 vigilance, you would probably see a shadow, and then once the shadow like settles, you would see Oliver kind of nearby one of the eastern corner of the door that just got opened, and he's kind of hunkered down there. You guys would know each other would be there, I would definitely say, with your vigilances being what they are right now. So you guys can use that to your benefit where you see fit.
Yeah, we sort of lock eyes for literally a second and just don't say anything. Just
Yeah. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a split here as we build in. So I would like to, now that we're inside, um I would like to, I kind of need to wait on that part just a hair because you don't fully see just yet. But to the layer of um well, I don't know if I want to say that just yet. I'm gonna wait just a hair. I apologize. I want to wait to see what the when the rest of the group comes in. Okay, so Seraphina, Malik, Current, Pinky, Zombie, and Siegfried.
zombie.
You're out there. You guys are outside in various elements of this odd little occult party, if you will. So the question is, how do you guys approach what you want to do to get inside? Like, Seraphina, I need like one more check from each of you to do it subtly. Or like to, I guess, walk through the narrative in that way. But you could also, you saw the door open twice, so there's that. Like there is that element. You're pretty sure the door is going to open again. So I think there's like, do you wait and dash, or whatnot, or are you guys trying to like get to the smaller door that Luther inevitably opened? That there's that guard kind of posted out before the chain door opens. Seraphina is going to roll another deception check, and she's gonna just schmooze her way through the party in simplest terms, towards the door, and you guys dancing our way, getting lost in being this very gregarious and very very you know hippie. She uses that to her advantage. Is very obvious as she parties with the different people. So you guys kind of see that element. I even like the idea with how well she just rolled that. Like she gets a dance circle going on the other side and gets people wrapped up in it right in front of the door. So it's like people are like watching her dance, and then she throws some people in, and then she uses that to her advantage to like step off to the closer to the door, and is starting to schmooze with the guard in front of the door, and talking about whatever. So you have a little bit of leeway, I would say, that she's kind
Far
of
out, man.
she rolled really well with her deception check. So um so to that point, Malik, you probably see her the most clearly. Current, Pinky, Siegfried, and the Fang, you would hear the music, what going on, but you wouldn't be able to see as much of the crowd. I would say maybe you would be able to see Malik kind of like west of you, like definitely a good distance away, but like hiding away from the crowd, more or less. So what do you guys want to do? How do you guys help to get inside? I need one more check from each of you.
Is there somebody I can
Pinky,
find
what
to
do we do?
follow with? Because I feel pretty useless on my own trying to get in here. If it's not like loud and like very obvious, at least.
You could buy spatial stuff right now. It'd make the most sense to kind of piggyback on Serafina.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking before. So let me try to tail them, get into the crowd, and follow them around.
Okay. I would like a deception check to go with this.
That is charisma, yeah.
Indeed.
Hey, that's a 2.
That'll do. That'll do.
Or will
Okay.
it?
Or will it?
You have a C in deception, so you could spend up to.
I do. I
3
thought it was a
spiritual.
D. No, deception. I have a C
Oh,
or a
I was
D.
looking at the wrong sheet. My bad.
That's still 2 strain at least.
That's still 2 strain if you wanted to for spiritual, but
Spiritual. Fuck it. Why not? I'm not using it for anything else. I'm literally maxed out on it anyway.
Okay, cool.
So it's a 4 now.
A 4. All right. Sweet deal. Serafina also got a 4.
I gotta
So
put
if
out
I'm
my
thinking-
best.
if we're looking at collaborative bonuses, which that's what you insinuated here. You guys are coming in at a 7 together. Is what you're.
Awesome.
So I think that's being pretty successful on a whole as a distraction to the front door. So with that kind of noise and intensity of the dancing, not Luther, Current, Pinky, Zombie, and Siegfried, you would hear the dance kind of increase. And you guys are kind of, there's an entrance near you, but more than likely it's locked. Or you could, I don't know, there's windows. I don't know. Like you don't have the ability to teleport like the other guys, unfortunately. So so what do you want to do? You guys are like Siegfried, you're sort of behind those guys, but you're more or less grouped up together with Pinky and Current, and we need to name the zombie eventually, but that's okay.
His name's
Yeah,
Have they just been namelessly following us?
just one. Yeah.
There's just one. He's very
He's just
loyal.
got, like,
Zombie's name is now Jeff.
He's got like sunglasses, you know. They can't see that he's that gross.
Mhm.
Again, it
This-
takes a bit for it to start decomposing.
Only
This
been
is
a
the
day.
ninja. This is the ninja zombie who saved our lives at the other place.
What
took
is, so
out-
wait, how many hours has it been? It's been like 2 days, 36 hours or something.
It's been you're nearing 3 days, yes.
Brandon, what does the zombie look like at this point?
He's close to a skeleton, damn near, I imagine. There's probably been chunks of him falling off. Like, it's probably not pretty.
Nope. No.
Like, unless Pinky's been like fixing him. But I don't.
Stitching him up a little bit.
I can
Dr.
see
Curran
it.
certainly isn't.
I mean-
No, that's what I can see it.
I feel like reanimation would slow the decay process, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he
that
still
might be
looks
real,
like
too.
a dude. I think he just probably
You
looks a little
don't want to get
gross.
too close to him either.
No, he is quite pungent. He is quite pungent. But he is still like per mechanics, he is still more than capable. So,
Mm.
Yeah, I'd say he probably still kind of looks like the guy that he.
Yeah. I like the
resembled.
idea. I like the idea that it does like slow down decay to a point, but it doesn't like if he's been injured or damaged, it's like
He's not regrowing arms.
yeah, he's not healing.
No, it's not regrowing arms.
Like
no,
if he has a puncture in his stomach, it's still there.
Yeah,
You know?
the spike is probably
I love
still
the
there.
idea of I do love the idea of Pinky like being proficient in sewing.
He does have first aid.
Well, there you go.
Check the
That's why he's proficient in first aid, is because he knows how to sew bodies.
He just fixes up my zombies.
Nevertheless,
Fixes up my
Current-
horde.
Pinky, Siegfried, how are we getting inside? How do you want to approach that? I need one more check from you guys.
Yeah, what's
Haven't
the
we just walked in there like we own the place? Is it some kind of confidence check?
If you want to
Presence, right?
face and go to the party and roll a deception check, like, hey, we are elite people, you could do that. Yeah, sure.
But also, he is an elite person, so
you
There's-
are famous.
You will definitely. I will definitely give you a situational bonus,
okay.
Mister.
Alright, let's do that. What is the situation? How much of a plus?
Not me. I might just be having zombies pick locks.
Well, Pinky is proficient in security. Yes.
Yup. Oh, I guess so. If you said so. If you say so.
I guess he is.
It's at your discretion, brother. So whatever you think he's proficient in.
I feel like I may regret saying this now later, but that's okay. I feel like it's like one of those things. A rat familiar not proficient in picking locks seems kind of like you're not paying justice to the creature.
Right.
You know?
Right.
Like I
Picking
don't know.
locks, he's biting through the chain.
Like it's also like equivalent to sleight of hand, and I know he's proficient in sleight of hand. So
Well, now he's proficient in security, so
not cybersecurity, never ever.
not cybersecurity.
He-
We
I
haven't gotten
imagine
that
Pinky.
far.
I imagine Pinky hates computers. So
Yeah.
like,
For now, Pinky hates computers until
for
he
now,
finds out that
you need to upgrade his brain.
it's pretty much just a zombie if you think about it.
Okay, I love it. Then I would like. Okay, I would like a deception check from Siegfried. I will give you a +1 situational modifier because this music is not your type of music, as you just stated a minute ago. So, people are gonna recognize you, but it's not like people are gonna be like, "Oh, sweet, you're my favorite person." The likelihood of that isn't as high. For those things.
Yeah, in that case, I might as well just go with the others. Because, like, it doesn't really make a difference. I could just use a dexterity to try and help Pinky with the lockpicking instead. Because I have a +3.
Your
And
dexterity is
dexterity.
slightly better, yeah. You.
So I'll just help. Makes more sense.
Well, that's true. Okay, cool. That's fine. I have no issues with that. So, okay, so I would like then,
Great. +3.
I would like then Pinky to lead the check.
Sick.
Where he does a security check with dexterity, and
Okay.
I would like
Oh.
Dr. Current.
You too.
Damn it.
Alright, that's 3 in a row, baby.
Dr. Current, Zombie, and Siegfried to roll a stealth check makes the most obvious sense as an assistance.
Uh-huh.
You could argue another check if you want, but stealth does make the most obvious sense to me. So
For
roll
me, it's all the same.
the checks. Let's do it.
Off to the gulags for you.
Yeah. Alright, stealths. We will start with a zombie.
Oh, shit.
Okay. Zombie rolls really bad. He's a zombie.
Oh,
Wait, maybe the zombie didn't roll really bad. He has A's and stuff, so he has a fucking reroll. This is crazy, dude.
He also has
I love these zombies.
There's
That's
ninjas,
better.
guys. They are ninja zombies.
They're ninja
I'm a big fan of the
zombies.
zombie.
Okay. I think the zombie stealth is coming in at a... What am I willing to spend here on this zombie, bro? 3? We spending 3? Fuck it, we're getting up to a 5, bro.
Okay.
But can I get up to a 5 is the question. Probably. We'll see.
You need to get within a. What is Pinky's roll? Is that Pinky's roll?
Pinky is also at a 5, I think, without rolling.
Okay, cool.
Sick. Can I get to a 5?
And then Siegfried.
Yeah, my stealth's pretty good.
What did you get?
I rolled a +3. I can get to a 5.
He got at least
You all
5.
got a 5.
We're all at 5.
So that turns the collaborative roll into an 8.
Yes.
The most unstealthy part of the party rolled an 8.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
I love it. I love it.
That is what
They
it
rolled
is.
an 8. Are they really that unstealthy?
Yeah, I don't think so.
The dice were in their favor.
It don't always be the way it is, but
I
sometimes
have a
it do.
B in stealth.
Well,
and
it
these-
technically, because of the distraction element, it'd probably be a 9, actually. But
Yes.
all right. So, all right. I would like Malik again as the only one, still only PC that's technically still outside by this point of the warehouse.
I thought I was following Serafina.
You're
He's
not
inside.
inside yet.
Oh yeah,
You're
sorry.
outside. So I would like just roll me a luck check.
Here it comes,
0.
baby.
It is not negative, so it's good.
Okay.
It's fine. But you're next to Serafina, you're right next to the door, and the chain door starts to draw again, and you like I imagine your like left back side is kind of facing that shoulder's kind of facing that big door more, and you're like your chest is right facing towards Serafina, and you're kind of behind her as she's turned slightly away from you to talk to the guard. And then the chain thing is open, and the guard brushes past both of you and kind of forces you to take a step back with your left foot, and you are then like looking more squarely into the dark room that opens into the warehouse, and you swear to goodness for a second there that you see this like eyeball looking at you, and then you blink and it's not there. Like there's just like this vibe you get when the room opens that's just like it didn't hit you until the door opened and you were this close. And obviously, I think Serafina feels it a little bit before, and she grabs you by your left elbow, and she's like, "Yeah, us next, me and him." And you and 4 other people get led into the warehouse, as the next to be chosen. You're okay, Malik. We were about to wrap up here shortly, anyways. But that's fine. Okay. I just want to describe one more thing, and then I needed to end early, like I said earlier. I need to go grade some essays today, to get everything graded in time.
Cool.
No worries. Yeah, you gotta go help a sister. It's okay.
Yeah.
So nevertheless, now that everyone's inside, I don't. You guys kind of each from a different angle. Okay, no worries. He left, but no worries. His. Let me type real quick.
Now that everyone's inside, Malik explodes.
Finally,
Boom!
time. That's what he's been wanting to do.
So the like you guys each come from your different angles, where Malik and Serafina are with these 4 strangers, and there's not anyone leading them. There's just this voice in the central room saying, "Hey, come here, take your seat," whatnot. And then you hear the voices singing and all the stuff in the central, and the drapes and everything, right? As I described before. But then Luther has already kind of been watching for a second. I imagine he's just like peered around this one corner of a drape, and he's just like paused as he's just like shook with what he's seeing. And it's so it's like Oliver sees that as Luther's obviously like holding onto a drape, and he's just stuck there for a second. Like he's not like frozen, I guess if you will. It's obviously he's just absorbing what he's seeing. And Oliver comes and is just like I imagine that curiosity, that urgency kind of pushes him to like what the hell is making this big man just like take a pause
Yeah.
like this. And shambles really quickly and quietly over to the to get in, like I imagine go on the opposite side of like the hallway that he's looking in to like not double up and like space. You guys know spatial reasoning from your stealth checks a little bit more, I'd imagine too. And you guys are on that one kind of southern eastern tip. But then Current and the zombie and Pinky found this other door on the eastern side that he picked, and you guys kind of went from a more northeastern angle. So you guys don't even know where Luther or Oliver is, and you go down this other kind of aisle of storage to eventually get to where these drapes are and the lights and stuff are. And so you're seeing more from like a northeastern kind of angle, if you will, at this central spot. And you each kind of like are hunkered down at like an end cap of one of the aisleways of the storage unit, and like or hiding even within a shelf itself, because these shelves are big storage shelves and like easy 3-4 feet shelves where you could like get down on your haunches real quick and like hunker down there for a moment. But Malik and Serafina just get like the most upfront view of stuff, and they see these 6 singers all wearing versions of these crystal hats, but they're sleeker and less like big clunky blocks and more like draped sort of fractals that go down their back, sort of thing. And they're not wearing the robes, they're just wearing these like black cotton pants or bras or whatnot. It's a mixture of males and females, and very jazz dancery dressed, if you will, but has this very odd futuristic garb to it. Like or it's been modified to allow them to move in these certain ways, if you will. And they kind of each get the Serafina and Malik included to come sit on these 4 kind of golden throned situations, and very solicitous and enticing. And here, take a drink. Here, we got some, what else do you need? Da, 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 before we begin. Oh, we're going to put these things on your head. We need to be able to, we have to tell your future and whatnot. And Serafina, for now, is going along with the process and kind of nods at Malik. We'll say he does for now. And they start to like act like they're putting on the things. They're not really putting on the things just yet. They're just like going through the motions, as everyone else is kind of, oh my gosh, this is well way different than I thought it was going to be, and all this other stuff. But you guys, from a different angle, outside the circle, see above this apparatus, what is kind of hidden in the drapes and the hanging lights and whatnot, are these metallic spires that kind of jut out into the roof area, and like the one broke through the ceiling. And these spires have this metallic plating on them that has this filigree that encircles and entraps almost the words. You eventually, like, I think Oliver and Current, and because of what Siegfried has mentioned, what we just did in the previous scene, your understanding of like ancient Norse and things like that, you see some of those languages in the filigree, the runes and things, dancing and encircling like around this dark metal that kind of forms the base of this structure. Oliver and Current, Luther, immediately it's the idea like this is a coil, like it's one of another coil. It's obvious, like just by some of the structures, but there's a nuance to it that is different than the others. Most of the others they looked like structures, like, but there's something else about this one that comes from this like inner layer that the filigree lays on top of, this metallic kind of sheen uh encapsulates in a way. And as you watch Malik and Serafina and these other four party goers sit down and start to put on the apparatus and look up into these spires, and there's like dozens of them. They all like almost hair or crystal um spikes, very jagged and haphazard, but there's a mathematical like balance to them at the same time, that they feel chaotic but they're not. Like there's a unity in how they're formed. That's why that crystal idea keeps coming to mind. But the metallic sheen belies underneath this like oily texture that makes up this black metallic stuff. And as you look at it, there's like a reddish hue to this oil that kind of drapes over the metallic. And um, it's almost like ropes or manacles. The gold and silver sheen binds this red oil underneath. But as you guys watch, it starts to move, the black, the crimson, and this metal is slowly breathing. This apparatus is slowly breathing. And up hanging in the spires, dripping down like unctuous fruit, subtle, clear drips of blood filter down. And where they kind of gather from up in these spires, you see stomachs and spleens and hearts and intestines that are still alive and working, but wrapped up into these spires, and they're slowly getting absorbed into these crystal structures and becoming part of this sanguine apparatus. And these eyeballs, like other fruit, linger watching below, waiting in anticipation for what is presumed to be their next meal. We will continue next time with horror checks and the like when we have everyone here for those things. Because there's another layer I want to add to the horror checks for those things. But we will end there with Malik might becoming a weird human sacrifice. The rest of you watching in horror at what might occur here, and understanding that you guys literally had but moments before something really big was about to happen. So I just want to, I know Malik isn't here, but that drive check you guys rolled last time, like, it's at this point where I can clearly say, if he wouldn't have rolled as well as you did, you guys would be arriving after this sacrifice instead of seeing it happen. And like, this thing is about to like burst. This thing is about to like take form, if you will. So you guys have a subtle chance to like stop the coil from working. Like, you kind of getting the impression the other coils were building to something like this and didn't get a chance to gather as much as this one has. This one has been here for a while, like weeks. It's been like brewing and like being added to. So